Welcome back, everybody, to yet another standard deck tech. Today I got something really spicy for you, and it's a ton of fun to play with. It's Esper Immortal Sun. This deck is quite expensive, running about $230, but don't let that price tag scare you. I do believe this is a fair price for how strong this deck is. While playtesting, I went 3-1 with the deck, and sure, that might be a small sample size, but it performed well against the meta right now. Anyway, before we go over the deck, if you want to purchase any of the cards you see on this list, make sure to head over to flipsidegaming.com. They've been kind enough to sponsor me and give me a promo code, meaning if you purchase from them and use my promo code GREAT at checkout, you'll save 10% off of your order as long as it was over $10. You're saving money on Magic cards while supporting me and my channel at the same time. All right, let's get into the deck. What is the goal of this deck? I like to answer and ask this question in my videos now, just so you're aware of what I am aiming for while making this deck. Essentially, this deck is a mid-range value deck, meaning we're playing creatures with good stat lines for their mana costs, and creatures with extra value after playing them, whether that be through enter the battlefield effects or long-lasting effects. We're topping off all of that with our finisher, the Immortal Sun. The great thing I found with this deck is that it doesn't need the Immortal Sun to win games. The creatures in this deck alone can win the game. This card is just insult to injury. Not only does it buff our entire team and give us an extra card every turn, but it makes all our spells cost one less. This doesn't just mean non-creature spells. Obviously, you guys can read the card yourself. I'm just saying this card is not only fun, it's powerful. So what creatures are we pairing with the Immortal Sun? We want stuff that obviously provides us board advantage, but also creatures that are good while paired with the Immortal Sun. Legion's Landing, Glint-Sleeve Siphoner, and Champion of Wits are our lowest mana creatures. While Legion's Landing doesn't seem like it fits in a deck that runs a ton of creatures or tokens, it's still fairly strong in this deck. It gives us a 1-drop that has the possibility of turning into a 1/1 lifelink token generator, which can make 2/2s with the Immortal Sun out. Siphoner is just an evasive 2-drop with card advantage on it. While we don't play any other energy-creating cards in the deck, it's still strong in itself. Then Champion of Wits does what it does best. It gives us card selection while serving as either a chump blocker or a creature that can help flip Legion's Landing early in the game. The Eternalize gives us another late-game option, which is the main reason we play this card. Not to mention, when you have the Immortal Sun out, this turns into a 2-mana, 3/2 that draws us 3 cards and discards 2, or if you Eternalize it, it's a 5/5 that draws 5 cards, discards 2. Those 3 creatures, if you want to call Legion's Landing a creature, gives us good early game and late game presence, which is always helpful. But let's get to our last few creatures in the deck. We're playing full playsets of Legion Conquistador, Hostage Taker, and Angel of Invention. Hostage Taker should be self-explanatory. We're playing it purely because of the way it can change the board state. Angel of Invention, however, isn't here to benefit from the Immortal Sun. It turns into a 4-mana 3/2 Flying Vigilance and Lifelink that creates 2 3/3 servos. So basically a 4-mana 9/8 split onto 3 creatures. And now for Legion Conquistador. I know it looks out of place, but this card serves multiple purposes in this deck. First off, with the Immortal Sun out, he turns into a better version of Squadron Hawk. He's a 2-mana 3/3 that tutors up 3 other 2-mana 3/3s. That's pretty sweet. But without Immortal Sun, he still serves a good purpose. We play both Champion of Wits and Chart a Course in this deck, which both let us draw and discard cards. Legion Conquistador lets us discard extra copies of himself, so we don't have to discard an important land or a removal spell we might have just drawn. While it looks out of place in the deck, you gotta trust me on how useful this card is to us in this deck. That's it for the creatures. Now we move on to the non-creature spells. We've already gone over 2, those being the Immortal Sun and Legion's Landing. So let's talk about the other 3. The previously mentioned Chart a Course, Fatal Push, and Vraska's Contempt take up the final 3 spell slots in the deck. Fatal Push and Vraska's Contempt are removal, obviously, and Chart a Course is card draw. Originally, I was playing Glimmer of Genius to pair with Glint-Sleeve Siphoner, but we didn't need another 4-mana spell since we're already playing Vraska's Contempt and Hostage Taker. So I replaced it with Chart a Course, and it did just fine. That's it for the spells, so now we gotta talk about the lands. We're playing quite a variety here, so bear with me. Concealed Courtyard, Drone Catacombs, Fetid Pools, Glacial Fortress, and Irrigated Farmlands are our dual lands, which we complement with 3 islands, 3 plains, and 5 swamps. You shouldn't have too much problems with mana in this deck, since we play a total of 25 lands and almost a near split on color distribution. Let me just quickly show you the sideboard for this deck. Pretty simple stuff. We got plans against everything, so that's good. Anyways, guys, that is it for the deck tech today. But before you click on out, make sure to subscribe to the channel if you are new. I only show and play standard decks that are really fun and play unusual cards, such as the Immortal Sun. Also, don't forget to hit the notification bell so you can get notified whenever I post a new deck or gameplay or whenever I go live. That's it for this video, guys. I do hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you for the next one.